So the rumors are true. I've had 1 week to prepare for this. No big deal. And I've had my entire life to prepare. Because living with a disability means taking situations all the time that aren't going to work for me and finding a way to make them work anyway. Disability has made me a very creative problem solver, and that's what makes me a good teacher. I work in a middle school, and I use those same skills every day with the students that I teach. In my teaching life, I've developed two real passions, one for technology, and my true passion is for equity, creating equal opportunities for all students. But today is all about bridges, and I have found so much power from bridging these two concepts together into something I call Techquity. Techquity is a concept that's been near and dear to my heart and central to my work since before I had a word for it. And I'm so excited to tell you all about it today. And to do so, I'm going to tell you about a kid named Jose, not his real name. I met Jose when he first started middle school. He's a Latino student who spoke English as a second language very fluently, but he had severe dyslexia. I don't think he could read a Dr. Seuss book to you if his life depended on it, and his writing is more like alphabet soup. And he's very smart. Jose has an incredible audio memory. He can remember everything he hears. He's a critical thinker. He can analyze, he can predict, he can connect. He was a great leader in all of our class discussions. When he was there, he was always on the truancy list. Jose skipped school a lot because school's hard when you can't read. He was always labeled low, which nobody would say to his face, but he knew it, and he believed it. I knew pretty quickly that Jose was going to need some technology, similar to things I was offered when I was a kid with a disability in elementary school in the 90s. He would need some form of text-to-speech in order to read, and he would need some form of voice dictation in order to write. So we started experimenting and trying things together, learning together, and I watched him finally accessing the same materials and content as all the other students. I had the amazing opportunity of watching him independently complete an assignment for the very first time in his life. I watched the way his face lit up when he finally realized that he's not dumb. I wish more than anything that I could tell you a happy ending, because Jose really deserves one. But the truth is, we were trying to make up for 7 years of lost education, and that doesn't happen overnight. He went on to high school where the expectations are a lot higher, the support's a little bit lower, and he pretty much fell off the map really quickly. Our system failed him, and that failure haunts me, as do many others, because Jose is nowhere near an isolated case. So today I'm asking why. Why was I the first person in his life to offer him real access to content? And why did I have so much more offered to me when I was a kid 20 years earlier? Is it because I'm white? Is it because I went to upper middle class schools? Is it because English was my first language? Is it because my disability is more visible? I suspect the answer is yes, all of the above, and all of that creates Techquity issues. In 2014, an initiative was introduced called Future Ready Schools. This initiative is nationwide and focuses on increasing access to technology within our schools and making students more college and career ready. And I think it's great. It's opened a lot of doors in my classroom. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I'm really excited about the work that's happening. My concept of Techquity pushes this further. Instead of just getting ready for the future, Techquity can change the future to something better. It's all about changing who holds the power. Thanks to Future Ready, our teachers have been given a lot of new devices and tools and told to go find a use for them in the classroom. Often that leads to great innovation, and other times it means doing the same worksheets uploaded to a digital format. The problem with this approach is that it puts the solution first, handing you some new devices, and hopes that it's going to solve some sort of problems. I suggest we need to flip that order. Techquity doesn't actually start with technology. It starts with identifying the problem. What's the gap that's keeping a student from being successful? And then turning to technology to see how can we help. I believe that technology is powerful, and it can be used either to empower or to oppress. And if we keep doing the same thing we've always been doing, even on a shinier, fancy new format, we're going to keep getting the same results, with the privilege staying at the top. Techquity attacks these hierarchies because I believe that every student deserves access to information and critical thinking. Every student deserves to create and express themselves and actively engage with their world. So what's stopping us? I see a lot of fear from adults that technology is going to create dependence on our students. But I feel like if that's what you're seeing, then you're doing it wrong. Because Techquity is all about independence. For example, the typical English language learner learns to speak and listen to a language much faster than to read and write it. Interventions like what we did for Jose help to bridge that gap so that they aren't missing all that academic content while their literacy skills are catching up. I have 8th graders in my class right now who aren't using the tools anymore that I gave them 2 years ago because now they've crossed the bridge. They don't need as much help anymore. Our schools also tend to suffer a lot from the wait and see syndrome. And while we're waiting to decide if we should intervene, the gaps keep getting wider. And then you end up with students like Jose who weren't trying to fill in gaps, he was trying to fill in a canyon. Our classrooms are full of incredible teachers who are overworked and overwhelmed. Our class sizes here in Oregon are some of the largest in the whole country. And if we're serious about the kind of individualized teaching that Techquity demands, then we need to stop setting up our teachers to fail that way. Because Techquity isn't going to be a magic bullet. Magic bullets don't exist. The strategies I'm talking about require a time investment. It requires a learning curve from teachers and students. And it's important for us to remember that our most marginalized students and their families typically are not squeaky wheels. They aren't screaming at us to meet their needs better. They aren't threatening lawsuits if we fail to. So it's up to us. We have to use whatever privilege that we have to seek out these students and bring some Techquity into their lives. I have seen Techquity make magic in my classroom, but my classroom is small. I'm here today on this crazy stage to invite all of you to help me make this grow. Start flipping the conversations. Identify problems first and be very specific. Calling a student low is not helpful. And then look for what the solution might be. Please recognize the urgency. Our kids don't stop growing up while we sit around and talk about it. They need better from us, and they need us to start doing better yesterday. Keep talking about it. Make Techquity part of the conversation. Bring it into every school and every school district. Bring it to the school board meetings, to the PTA meetings. Talk about it at the state education board, in the universities. Talk about it in your homes, and talk about it with your kids. Because our kids deserve a more Techquitable world. Thank you.